again. Welcome everyone to our TungaAskTheExpert Tuesday. My name is Bami and I am community manager for Tunga. I'm going to be your host and moderator for this section. And I'm welcoming everyone. You could just like drop your name, what you do, just a little bit of introduction of yourself in the chat box. That would be nice. So, yep. And yes, I have one amazing person here in our midst today that will be taking us in this section. We are looking at creating a resume that attracts opportunities as a developer. We all know that sometimes we're in this space, we have the skills, we know we can do these things, but most times we do not have the best resume structure. There are some resume that when they get to I hope everyone can still hear me because I'm saying something like network issue. So there are some resume that they don't even get to the recruiter. Like they put them aside. Immediately the recruiter read the whole thing. It's just like she is not attracting enough, or is not attractive enough, and it's not it's all well structured and all of that. So we have an expert here, Chisom, that will be taking us through the journey of like creating and building a well-structured resume. And this is like ask an expert. So if you have any question, just like put them all down. She's going to be answering all of the questions that you have concerning how to build an attractive resume. So just a little bit about Chisom Nwokwu. I hope I'm not murdering your name. Fondly known as, fondly likes to be called TechQueen. She's currently a software engineer at Microsoft, working with the sustainability team. She recently graduated from the University of Nigeria right after rounding up her internship with the Bank of America. Chisom spent a time helping job seekers land role at top tech companies through speaking engagement, podcasts, and one-on-one. So this is one of ways where our Chisom help developers, help people in tech to land top roles in top companies. So we are opportunity to have Chisom in our midst this afternoon to give up some tips and some spice of how to land ourselves great opportunities in this tech space. Over to you, Chisom. Hi.
Hello, thank you for that lovely introduction. I think, let me go ahead to share my screen. Okay, so I think you need to give me some permission to share. Okay, it's okay now. Okay, please confirm if you can see my screen. Okay, can you see my screen? You're mute.
I'll list for that. Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, so let's go. So hi everyone, my name is Chisom, and today we're going to talk about creating an attractive resume. So I'm a software engineer at Microsoft, and on this call, I'll be taking you through tips on how to not only create your resume, but create it in a way that it's going to attract recruiters and literally attract anybody that wants to employ you. So the three things we're going to be looking at are the must-have features your resume should have, the sections your resume has to possess, we'll talk about the ATS, some ATS tips, the applicant tracking system tips for people that hire for roles in different companies, and the submit format of a resume. So I hope you have a good time listening to me and me sharing a bit of my knowledge on this topic. So the first thing we're looking at is the sections of your resume, various sections that your resume should have. So the first thing is a resume should have your job title and your full name. So if you are a software engineer or a web developer or a UI UX designer or a product designer, that job title should be boldly written out on your resume to show people that you're not jack of all trades. I know a lot of people that do graphics and do programming and they do a little bit of data science. So they usually leave out the job title on their resume. So pertaining to the company or to the role that you're applying for, it's always best to state the job title or your current role or what you're known as on your resume, along with your full name in bold. That should be the first thing people should see when they open your resume. The second thing is your contact information. People make this mistake of putting some contact information that aren't really updated. Your email address is redundant. Your phone number is not active. So in case anybody wants to hire you after viewing your resume, the person needs a form of contact to be able to link up with you or to communicate with you after the review process. So your email and your phone number has to be active. People usually add their address to their resume. It's okay, but I think it should be a more generic address. Let's say Lagos, Nigeria, or just literally the state and the country. I think that's basically the only thing that you need. Then relevant links should also be added. Your GitHub link, your portfolio link, if you have a portfolio, of which you should have if you're serious about landing any job, and your LinkedIn portfolio. So you can do like a URL shortener to like shorten these links and make in such a way that when someone clicks on the link, it takes them directly to where this stuff are stored, like your GitHub, it takes them directly to the page. The fourth thing is your skills and your technical skills and your soft skills. That's your skills in general. Technical skills like your programming skills, what you're good at, what you're working on, the tools that you use to build software, and also your soft skills. Soft skills consist of your communication skills. Are you good at working with a team? Are you good at collaborating? And literally those things that you use in teamwork and being a great team player. So the other thing is your projects. This might either be personal or group projects. It might be something you've worked on before or something you worked on as a group, but do well to always highlight the link to this project. This project should be something that you can redirect your recruiter to. So if your application is on Play Store, the link to that Play Store location should be on your resume. Or if the website is being hosted on its own site, you should not forget to add the link, because there's one thing in adding projects that you've worked on. There's another thing in actually lying about those projects. So those links serve as evidence that you actually built this project and you're not just making it up from somewhere. So the last thing is your education and your certifications. If you did a BSc in computer science or if you did a BSc in something else, do well to add that there. And the certifications that you have that is pertaining to your role as a developer, but literally everything on your resume should be IT related as much as you're applying for an IT role. So I see people adding, I was a fellowship lead in so and so fellowship, or I was a bartender in this restaurant. So everything on your resume should be tailored to infotech. And it shouldn't be far-fetched. It shouldn't be irrelevant. They should all be relevant information, because you literally have just a minute to showcase yourself to the recruiter. The recruiter hasn't met you, but he or she is looking at your resume to know the kind of person you are. So you just have about a few seconds to impress he or she, like the person looking at your resume. So must have features in your resume. Your resume has to be accomplishment oriented. If you did something really great on your group project or your personal project, be sure to add that. Be sure to add your achievements and the achievement of that project. Was that project solving a particular problem? I mean, something that would wow a recruiter when she sees your project. Like during the COVID season, when they had COVID outbreak, some people were building projects that actually show how many people have caught COVID, how many people died of COVID, or how many people have been infected. So this was something that was solving a problem. So each task on your resume or each job experience you're adding should be accomplishment oriented, to show that you didn't just build that project for building sake, but actually built it to solve a problem. Second thing is it has to be quantifiable. Your results have to be quantifiable. How many people did it help? Did it optimize anything? The point of software engineering or software development is to make things more efficient, is to make things more optimal. So how did your project optimize a particular task? Did it add value to your company? Did it add value to some people? And this amount has to be quantifiable. Were they 5 people or 6 people or 7 people? By how much percentage? Everything has to have numbers to show that it was actually impactful and it actually made impact in what you were trying to solve. Resume should be short but detailed. For someone that doesn't have up to 8 years, for up to 2 years experience working in the software development field, I do not think you should have a resume that is more than a page. I feel like only senior engineers or engineering managers should have resumes with more than a page. So if you're just starting out in tech, you shouldn't fill your resume with irrelevant information that will make your resume to be more than 1 page, because your recruiters only have like not even up to a minute to actually view your resume. So if you're making them scroll down to actually look for what they want, they might just bypass your resume. So it has to be short but detailed. Every point on your resume should count, and it should be related to the role that you're applying for. Your resume should also be well targeted. You can't be applying for a software engineering role and you're writing UI UX design as a job title on your resume. It shows that you're not actually applying to the right role, number one, and you're not actually intentional about applying for that job that you're applying for. So everything on your resume has to be targeted to the company. I keep telling people that your resume shouldn't be static. It shouldn't be something that you save on your laptop and keep sending out to people when you want to apply for jobs. Your resume should be on an editable site where you can check out the job, check out the description, and tailor it to that particular job, save it all over again, and apply. So if you're someone that has a static resume and you're using the same resume to apply to multiple jobs, you're doing the wrong thing and you might not actually be successful that much. So a little bit about the applicant tracking system. It's a system used by recruiters and hiring managers to filter out applications. And the first thing ATS scanner does is it filters out resumes, right? It filters out applications. So it checks for keywords, job description keywords need to show on your document. If you go through a particular job posting and you check the job description, you notice that there are some basic highlights like basic programming languages like say C++, Java or JavaScript. The person has to have a degree in this. The person has had proficient knowledge in this. So if those particular keywords are not on your resume, the system is going to scan you out because it feels that you're not the right person for the role because those keywords are not present on your resume. So you might be good for the role and you might be fitting, but since you don't have little things like the programming language that they asked for, or even the job title on your resume, like something like software, Java, optimization, those kind of things. So it checks for about 5 keywords out of 10. So if you can't find those 5 keywords on your resume, then it filters it out to the rest of the resumes that it has dumped. So on your resume, also avoid using acronyms because it's very hard to track. Like instead of writing JavaScript, you write something like JS, or instead of writing software engineering, you write something like SWE. So the system isn't going to track enough keywords and it's going to make sure your resume doesn't even get to the next stage. So the last thing is standard formatting using a visible font, and if possible, saving your resume in a DOC format. So this helps the system scan your resume properly. Some people use fonts that are not really readable. Some people use layouts that are not really readable. So system finds it hard to track all these things. So why they use the system more is there are multiple applications, right? So if you know how to hack the tips from the system, you can literally get your resume to the last point of review. So the submission format, everything works with structure. Submitting a resume in a good format or saving your resume in a good format gives recruiters the ease to search or save your resume on their system. And it also speaks good about you as a candidate. So don't go saving your resume as maybe your first name, resume 1, your first name, CV 2, or CV, your first name. So have a particular structure for your resume. Start with your first name in capital letters, your last name, and the job role you're applying for. If possible, add the company. So when they see this, they know that, okay, this is an attachment and this person has a well-structured way of doing things or applying for things. So it also helps, it also helps in actually grading you as a candidate. So I think that's literally everything I have to say about building a lovely resume. Thank you. So in case there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Chisom. That was amazing. Short, well detailed. Thank you very, very much. Super amazing. I know there's a lot of questions. There are questions to ask. But before I like ask the audience to ask Chisom their question, I just want to throw this question out to the audience. You can just put it in the chat box. How many of you, or you take a poll, how many of you have a resume, a detailed resume before today, or as we are speaking right now? How many people have resume? You can put it in the chat box. I'm going to like give 2 minutes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello? I'm not sure. Oh, okay. So I hope our audience can hear me. So asking how many of us have a resume before today? Like you have a well-structured resume. You can put it in the chat box. Okay. Isaiah. All right, cool. Who else? Ben, Dennis, Blackboard, Essay. Okay. All right. There's a question already, but this is like a general question. So Isaiah, I'm sure you would have learned more tips for branding your resume in a better way. So out of all what Chisom has mentioned for us now, what is like the significant tip you have taken out of a tip of creating a resume? Another 2 minutes or 1 minute? 1 minute to type that. Isaiah. Let's see if we can. So Isaiah, you can speak. I feel like everybody should be able to speak. Yes.
Good afternoon. Sorry, my network was a bit bad. I didn't get what you said. What do we talk about? Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Okay, I think her network is bad, but can you hear me though?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I think she asked of everything that was said on the call, what are the few things that you picked up?
Okay, the first thing for me was the section. You talked about the title. So we should put like our stack. Maybe I'm a Python developer, should I have like a Python developer, a front-end developer, a JavaScript developer. Then let's go to the name. Our name should be there. The contact information. So we should have updated contact information. That's phone name and email. Then address. If you want to add address, it should just be like a generic address, like Abuja, Nigeria, something like that. Then I don't know, should I still continue? Then we talked about sections. That's our skill sets. So we should put our skill sets should be listed both technical and soft skill. Then education should be listed. Our achievements and the matrix. Maybe let's say I design a backend website which represent 10% profit for the organization, something like that. Then you also talked about portfolio. We should have our links from GitHub, portfolio, and LinkedIn. So can use like a URL short now to shorten it. Then we talked about ATS. When it comes to ATS, we should make use of keywords, especially in the job description. So maybe out of 10 keywords, it's looking for like 5 keywords. So we should make sure we use technical keywords like JavaScript, Python, backend, no, sorry, not backend. Keywords that are needed in the job description. You also talked about the use of abbreviations. That we should avoid using abbreviation because the system are not picked it up. You talked about the format. It should be like dots. A Microsoft Word document, that's doc. I should use like a good font. What else did I get? I think basically that's the major thing I got from you. But the one that really touched me is the resume breakdown. The must have sections on our resume. That was my key takeaway.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much, Isaiah. Thanks for that feedback. That's amazing. And thank you very much, Chisom. Thanks for the amazing section. It was really, really nice. I love the fact that it is so concise, it's short, and it is well detailed, because there are some things that we do not like, we overlook or we underrate while structuring our resume. Someone like me, I know that I do that mistake of like just putting Bami's resume. So I have gotten to know today now that I shouldn't be doing that. I should put my resume, structure it in a good manner, and let me pass on information to my recruiters that I am intentional about getting this role. I know what I'm doing and I'm intentional. So thank you very much. That's amazing for me. So we have one question here. This section is basically it's like ask an expert, which can also be translated to as like ask me anything section. So it is a section where questions are always welcome, where questions are answered. So we know that you might have a particular question troubling you. Please kindly ask the question concerning the resume. Kindly ask all the questions you have, and for the next how many minutes? Yeah, for the next 29 minutes, Chisom is here to answer all of our questions. So let's get to it. Dolakbo Oladoja is asking, you guys should pardon my lights. Dolakbo Oladoja, she's asking, hi Chisom, if this isn't trespassing, okay, how can someone find a recruiter? One, I am fresh out of school and I've always desired to work for Microsoft as an Azure security intern. All right. So I don't know if the second part is a question or she just like putting it out there that she'd love to work as an intern in Microsoft. But I think our main question is, how can someone find a recruiter? So Chisom.
Okay, so yeah, that's a good question. Nice meeting you. Although I didn't get your name, but let me just answer your question. You could reach out to recruiters so many ways. I think LinkedIn is one of the platforms where you can actually connect with recruiters. But the problem with connecting with recruiters is they need to see like a track record of your activities online. They need to see a track record of how you've been doing in the tech space. So if you message a recruiter and you're trying to ask her to, maybe to apply for a role or to pitch yourself to a company or something, they need to see a track record. Like you need to give the person a reason to actually listen to you or give you a listening ear. So if your social media if your LinkedIn profile is empty, is not really active, trust me, that person might not really give you a listening ear. But if you have stuff on your profile, if you have achievements, if you have a portfolio, if you have something to actually showcase that you have done the work, that you've been building stuff, you've been collaborating with teams, you've been active in your tech community, you give yourself something to vouch for, right? So that's one of the ways. So there are several templates online that you can follow if you want to message a recruiter. You can use cold emails. You can just go straight to the person's inbox. Although some LinkedIn accounts have like a locked like premium account where you can't really message recruiters. But I feel like there are so many other ways for checking for their mails or anything. So you just literally have to pitch yourself, point out that you have a couple of achievements in the tech space, and also send your message with links or proofs to what you've been doing. And I feel like if the person actually sees you as a valuable employee or valuable potential hire, the person will give you a listening ear. So for your second question, landing an internship at Microsoft is very possible. It's very, very possible. You just need to follow the resume guidelines that I just pointed out, which helped me when I was applying for my role. And just apply. And if you apply and you don't get any callback, it shows that you have something to improve on. So keep improving on your skills, keep improving on what you know, and keep applying. Don't actually stop applying, or don't just feel like you're not good enough for the role. So just continue, and definitely you're going to get like an open door. Okay, I think her network. Okay. You are welcome. Okay, Isaiah is asking, do you review resumes? So yes, I do, but I actually run a one-on-one session with people if they actually schedule for a call with me. So yes, I do review resumes. So you get to pick the option you would like us to talk about. And fortunately, one of those options is resume review. So we spend like 30 minutes looking at your resume and talking about things that could literally make your resume better. So I have my Twitter handle on screen, and okay, yeah, I have my Twitter handle on screen. So if you go to my Twitter profile, you would see a one-on-one schedule link. Although I do not have any open positions for this month and next month, but I will be sure to alert. If you're following me, I'll be sure to alert you on when I would have open positions for July through August. So yeah, you can check it out on my profile.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much, Chisom. Thanks for answering that. And yes, I don't know if there is any other question, but if not, I'm just going to ask Chisom. So my lights. So how was your interview process like? How do you think your structure, your resume structure, as a way of landing in the role that you are right now?
Of course, it played he played a huge role. My resume was just a page, but I tried to put as much information as I wanted to: my education, my projects, my skills, my certifications and awards, my contact info, even a short profile of myself. So I would say it played a huge role because the resume got to a lot of companies and I got positive feedback from each of them. Although I didn't really interview with them, but I got positive feedback. So your resume plays a very big role. People actually look at your resume before they even meet you as a candidate. So if you can't even impress them on paper, like on a one pager, so they don't expect to expect anything from you in the long run. So your resume plays a big role. It introduces you before you even meet your recruiter. So always you have to look at your resume and even smile. If you're not smiling looking at it or excited, that means you're not really doing enough work. So yeah, it plays a very huge role.
Awesome. That's amazing. Thank you very much, Chisom. So basically, resume as a whole, it has a part to play in our, say, recruiting process, because your resume gets to the recruiter, not you. And so resume stands like a representative of who you are and what you're doing. And it gives these recruiters, or this where you need these opportunities from, it gives them like an overview of who you are, and it determines if they really want to like have this first call with you, the first interview, if they want to really have it with you or not. So, and that's the essence of us creating this section and bringing someone like Chisom to come talk to us about the importance and how to build a well-structured, attractive, I mean, we had to put attractive because the resume had to be attractive. It has to be attractive. So an attractive resume that will attract opportunities. So sometimes you will get to see people reaching out to people on LinkedIn, on Twitter. I'd love to ask you some that too. That as your resume, like I said just now, your resume is like a representative of you out there. So have you had recruiters recruiters reaching out to you via Twitter, via LinkedIn, saying that, oh, I saw your resume, I want you can you come work for us, or can we schedule an interview and all of that, instead of like going through the application process?
Yeah, no, the thing is, it works in two ways. Either you apply on the site, on the job site. When you apply, you get an interview call back straight up. They don't need to actually message you on this side. Another way is they see your profile on LinkedIn, they see your profile on Twitter, or they see your activity in the tech space, and they reach out to you with an application link to actually apply with your resume. So it goes two ways. So people are lucky, people reach out to them every single day and they get to like pick the company to apply for, or some people just go ahead to apply and just get interviews from there.
Yeah, right. I know, right? So thank you very much. Thank you. The importance of like having a well-structured resume, I feel like cannot be emphasized, because yeah, this is a very, very huge role. So developers like know that you have this skill, you can do this thing, but then you keep applying for this job and it just seems like it's not working, or it's not okay. Okay, so Isaiah is asking another question. Isaiah is saying that, can you please talk about how to pass technical interview?
Okay, that is another topic. That's a very, very different topic. Do I still have battery? Okay, as you can see, my battery is a little bit low, but I'll just do a quick one. So technical interviews are like you applying to companies, and they actually, sorry about that. Technical interviews is about you applying to companies and they are trying to check if you are logically sound, if you, the programming language that you claim to know or the software development that you claim to know, if you're good at it. So they're not really testing you like serious testing. They just want to test your logical abilities by knowing how you answer some questions with your coding, your programming language, knowing how you can, if you're a problem solver, if you can collaborate while solving the problem, or if you are a good listener, so stuff like that. So acing a technical interview is just literally picking a particular learning structure, the things you're meant to learn, your data structures and algorithms, your big O notation, your system design, knowing most of all those things, having a structure to learning them. Do not learn one before another. Don't go learning algorithms when you don't know anything about the big O notation. Don't start learning heavy data structures when you don't even know the simplest mechanism of an array. So that's one. Once you're done with your learning structure, look for structured resources online, look for books, look for things that will give you a structured learning path from A to Z. So it's better because you get to follow a particular structure and not end up learning the things that you don't need. Because most technical interviews, sometimes you just need to know the basics, except you're a senior engineer that they would want to test you further. So practice. There is Lead Code, there is PRAMP, there is HackerRank. Always practice your questions. Don't practice for technical interviews because you want to get the job. No. Practice for it because you want to build yourself as a developer, not just for developing software, but developing your mindset, your problem-solving capabilities. If you do it that way, you will enjoy it because it's a very, very daunting process. So once you're done with that, do mock interviews with your friends the day before your interview, practice with your friends, make sure that you're on the right track, make sure that you're not a nervous person, make sure that you watch videos of people that do technical interviews, you're communicating with your interviewer, you're not keeping quiet during your interviews, you're trying as much as possible to solve the problem. You're also getting reviews from your interviewer. When they tell you to do something this way, don't argue with the person or feel like you know a lot or you know more than the person. Just let the person guide you into solving the problem. Don't be so arrogant. If you've seen the question before and you're feeling so hyped to answer the question, do not do that. Just take it slowly, absorb the question, ask clarifying questions, know more about the problem before you start solving. And when you start solving, make sure that you infuse bits and pieces of your knowledge into what you're solving. If it's an array that you're working on, try to define an array to yourself out loud before you start. So make it as interesting as possible. Don't be scared. Don't see your interviewer as a lord or as a boss that is going to fire you if you don't pass. But see your interviewer as a colleague that you're trying to solve a particular problem with. So that's literally all about technical interviews. People that pass technical interviews, people that are working at big companies, are people that have put in the work to actually study and practice these things and have them at the tip of their fingers. So if you just want to wing it and cram it, trust me, you might go a little bit far, but you might regret it at the end of the day. So that's like everything about it in a nutshell.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm sure your question is answered. Wow. So welcome to Lagos. I'm sure your question is answered, Isaiah. Thank you very much. Yeah, so thank you all for coming. I just, okay, let me just off my video. So just like a quick one from for Chisom. So I'll just say, what do you think a developer or a technical person should have when going for an interview? Just the last question before we
Okay,
run.
what the person should have when going for an interview, like in what sense? Like the skills you should have?
Not like crossing your T's, dotting your I's. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Okay, so practically always make sure your laptop is charged. That's one thing. If it's going to be a video interview, make sure that your background and your lighting is okay. Make sure that your mic is very, very audible, because you won't want to be interviewing with a big company and they can't hear you, or they are struggling to hear you. Just know that that interview, you're not passing it. So make sure your mic is okay, your camera is clear, your background, your surroundings the place is not noisy at all. So once you've gotten all those equipments checked, you do not really practice. I won't say you should practice moments before you interview. Take that time to actually relax and cool yourself down and just go over some algorithms in your head. Don't really start going on lit codes to check something or to make sure of something. You're going to get very disturbed when you start. So when you start, do well to introduce yourself. Make sure that you are calm and just literally believe in yourself that you've put in the work. And even though it doesn't work out, there are several other opportunities for you to try and get that offer you're actually working for. So have your data structures and have your algorithms in your head, not cramming them, but actually understanding what they mean. Have your algorithms in your head. There's several algorithms that you can use to solve major problems or specific questions. So have that in your head. Know the definition of your data structures. Sometimes interviewers might ask you, okay, this is an array. I don't know what an array is. Can you tell me what an array is? So know the definition of them, know how they work, know the various operations that you can carry out on each data structure. Like the interview, I think I failed, was when they asked me the operations that you can carry out on a stack, and I just started mixing everything up in my head. So know those operations. They might be similar. Like a stack is like pop and I can't even remember. Pop and something else. Then you have Q, the Q and Q. In an array, you can insert, you can swap, you can and do all those stuff. So have them at the back of your head and just literally try your luck and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, you also have other opportunities to try again.
Thanks for mentioning that. Like, I feel like that's our take home. Like, you don't always think like one interview and you get the job. Of course, there are people that will do one interview and get the job, but have it at the back of your mind that you are going to do a lot of interviews. Sometimes you are going to have to do more than 50 sometimes. I hope it doesn't get to that. But yes, we are going to send out resume as many times as possible. But one day, one is going to like call you for an interview. An interview is going to turn to like an offer letter. So just like keep sending out those resume, keep doing those interview, and you're going to get it soon. So thank you very much, Chisom. Thanks for coming today, and apologies again for the low turnout. I guess, I don't know, maybe because it's a working day or something. So, but then, thank you very much. Really enjoyed ourselves, and we are going to be posting this video on our YouTube page. So in case you just want to like check it out again, or you have someone you want to like check out the resume, the resume video, you can always check it out on our YouTube page. And yes, Chisom is going to be sending our slide to us, so we're going to be sending it out to alongside with the video. So thank you very much everyone for coming today. Chisom battery is low, so let's just round things up. And I think there's no more question, if I'm correct. Yes, no more question. So thanks everyone. Thanks Isaiah. Thanks for participating.